The world has gone crazy. A real life Joker is roaming the streets, y'all. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Luigi Mangione, a privileged Ivy Leaguer turned assassin, has shocked us all by targeting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Let's dive into why he did it, what secrets he exposed, and the larger lessons that we can learn from this chaos. Welcome, I'm Victor Dream, and my mission is to share powerful stories that we can learn from, heal from, and grow from. Let's get into it. Unlike the Joker, he's not unattractive or poor with an unstable family. Instead, he's the wealthy, educated version with the six-pack. He's hot, and millions of people are surprisingly lusting after him, which is kind of scary and very problematic. But anywho, I'll leave that between people and their therapist, okay? Before we go into the details of the assassination, let's go deeper into Luigi's background. Luigi is a 26-year-old born in Maryland, and by all appearances, he lived a magical life of the top 1%. Born in an elite family, his family owned luxury properties, including resorts and country clubs and many other businesses. He didn't just attend the country club, they owned it. I'm confused. What are you mad for, sir? How does this background lead to this? But anywho, we'll continue. His mother is a doctor, a cardiologist, and his father is a top lawyer and politician. Academically, Luigi was also a star. He graduated as valedictorian from a prestigious high school, and then he went on to attend Ivy League college at UPenn, and he earned a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science. So homeboy was smart. The world was his oyster. But like damn, usually valedictorians run for president, not become assassins. I don't understand how someone with this much privilege ends up like this. I guess we're gonna find out. So what happened specifically? The incident occurred on December 4th, 2024, around 6:44 a.m. Hold up. I'm not even awake at 6 a.m. I wake up around 9 a.m. How are people up and early? That means he got coffee or whatever, was up and jittery and murdering people. Like, go to sleep, sir. Anywho, that's a tangent. Luigi did this during a high-profile healthcare conference in New York City outside of a Manhattan hotel. Luigi was allegedly armed with a semi-automatic pistol, and apparently he was waiting outside for hours. And this sounds fishy. This CEO has 24-hour high-level security due to the nature of his job, and many people are angry of all the claims he denied or his company denied. So something seems off. Like, I feel like he was tipped or something. This is a allegation or belief, but I'm like, how does some 26-year-old have this high-level knowledge of a top CEO making $10 million a year? He reportedly ambushed Thompson in broad daylight, and then he fled on an e-bike before being caught a week later in Pennsylvania. Only in America can a white man get away with shooting someone in broad daylight and not get arrested on sight or people stopping him. He just shot him and then took some time, looked for the nearest bike on Uber and left? Like, girl. So who told on him? Luigi's dumb ass got discovered in two stupid ways. The first way is that he checked into a hostel wearing a mask, so he was trying to hide his identity. But he put the mask down to flirt with the hostel worker. And that's how they got this photo of him. Really, Luigi? You were horny? So that's why you got discovered? Come on, priorities, man. This man was crazy. The second stupid way they found him was he went to McDonald's after the murder. The McDonald's worker noticed Luigi's resemblance to the photo that was circulated that I just showed you, and they contacted authorities, leading to his final capture. Like, oh my God, Luigi, you just murdered someone and then you're going to big chain restaurants where they have cameras everywhere. Dumb, I tell you. That Ivy League education obviously didn't work that well. So the real question is, why would he do this? Well, He wrote an alleged manifesto letter directed at the police and to the public, highlighting that this was a highly planned out ordeal and Luigi's motivations were deeply personal and he was against the system. Allegedly, Luigi is angry after he got a spinal surgery that went wrong to treat a chronic back issue that he was experiencing severe complications with, including chronic pain constantly, and apparently he had alleged sexual dysfunction, which fueled his resentment towards the healthcare industry. So really, Luigi, you're mad because you're not happy with your surgery and it affected your ability to use your eggplant? So that is a reason to kill someone. Okay, Luigi, I don't understand it, but I guess if you're in constant pain at 26 and you're not able to do the nasty, it would make you want to kill somebody. Don't know, but anywho, we're going with it. What lesson can we learn from this? Lesson number 1, get mental health help before it's too late. Because when we're hurt, we hurt other people. If we don't get the help through therapy, a life coach, or some other forms of healing, our emotional and physical pain, it will always come out in dark ways. This is an extreme example, but let's all go to therapy, y'all. Without help, our crazy minds will convince us to do some wild things. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm glad I have Jesus and I've been in therapy for many years and I didn't act on the crazy things my mind wanted to do under stress and pain. Another big question is, why did Luigi choose Brian Thompson out of all the evil people in the healthcare industry? And it's because he allegedly viewed Thompson as a symbol of corporate greed and a system that exacerbated his suffering after his surgery, especially with United Healthcare being the biggest healthcare insurance company in America, generating over $300 billion this year alone. Okay, they're making money. It also appears that Luigi had little remorse for Brian Thompson specifically because Thompson, he was a controversial CEO and the company was allegedly being investigated by the Department of Justice for its shocking policies that allegedly prioritize profit over people and at the expense of patient care. And that truly is messed up. This brings us to lesson number 2. Call out the system. Let's not wait for a vigilante to kill someone to finally talk about this important subject. The healthcare system is broken, y'all, and it's time that we raise our voices. And Luigi's story may be extreme, but the frustration behind it is real. Millions of people are supporting Luigi. Now, what secrets did his manifesto letter expose? Let's read it and break it down. Luigi says, "To the feds, I'll keep this short because I do respect what you do for our country. To save you a lengthy investigation, I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone." I don't believe he was alone. Something sounds fishy with the situation. I feel like he had to be working with someone high level who knew way too much information. How did this person know that this CEO with 24-hour security would have this one period where his security isn't around and he'd be able to get shot in broad daylight? This sounds like a setup, in my opinion. Luigi continues saying, "I do apologize for any strife or traumas, but it had to be done." Aw, we have a sympathetic assassin, killer. Luigi says, "Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming." A reminder, the US has the number one most expensive healthcare system in the world, yet we rank roughly number 42 in life expectancy. He is right. Wow, the statistic is true. And I didn't know this before researching this. Something is not adding up. Sounds like a scam to me. The American public is being bamboozled. Also, we're being poisoned. Our food has so many chemicals and unhealthy preservatives and poisons and that are not allowed in food in other countries, but in our country it is. And the healthcare industry loves it. They're profiting off us being sick. Their business model is profit. And the only way they make profit is for us to stay sick and keep coming back for more and more meds. And the insurance doesn't want to pay for it. They just want us to pay high premiums and prices and make it hard for us to get reimbursed. So this is a common frustration that millions of Americans, including myself, have experienced. Luigi says, United Healthcare is the largest company in the US by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but has our life expectancy? Luigi has a point here. I had no idea that United Healthcare alone, just this one healthcare company, is as big as Apple. They generated over $300 billion last year, and that's a healthcare company. Like, insurance companies and healthcare should not be making this much money, and it should not be allowed to be happening in America. Other leading nations in Europe and around the world don't allow this to happen. They have public healthcare for all. You can get private healthcare if you want in addition to it, but you have basic healthcare. Luigi's manifesto continues saying, the reality is these companies have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. Yes, Luigi, I'm confused why the American public has not rallied around this issue. Why aren't we in the streets protesting to this? This is the biggest thing and biggest issue that's affecting our nation today. But instead, we're arguing about super petty, small things. This is the issue that affects us all, no matter our race, no matter our background. We all are getting affected by these predatory practices of the healthcare industry. And for the first time in a long time, we have all this grassroots attention to this issue because of this situation. Luigi continues saying, many have illuminated the corruption and greed decades ago, but the problem still remains. It's not an issue of awareness at this point, but clearly power games are at play. Evidently, I am the first to face it with such brutal honesty. I mean, yes, brutal honesty, that is correct. And this isn't new information that he's exposing, but it's wild that I didn't know this. We don't know this. The media isn't making us aware of this. They're not pushing this narrative. Why? Big Pharma is paying ads to these television networks and news media companies. That's how they're making money. So these companies and media websites that are supposed to bring us awareness don't have an incentive to do that. They're not going to go against the people that are paying them. And so it's up to us now as informed citizens to do the work now. Another detail about the murder is that Luigi inscribed into the bullets 3 words that have a deep meaning. These bullets used in the crime were inscribed with delay, deny, defend, which is a book that he's referencing to by an author who exposed the health insurance industry by the name of Jay Feinman. The book exposes the strategies used by these insurance companies to maximize profits at the expense of their clients. And here are 5 key points that the book emphasizes. Number 1, insurance companies prioritize profit over policyholders. They do this by often denying claims. Some estimates claim that the average denial rate of insurance companies is up to 20%, which is crazy. That is way too high. People are not trying to go to the hospital because they want to. They're paying for insurance, and then they're in hopes when an emergency happens, they want the insurance to pay, but then the insurance is trying tooth and nail to not pay. Number 2, insurance companies have many tricky tactics to avoid payouts. A common strategy includes delaying the process, like I said, denying claims outright, and defending against lawsuits aggressively. These insurance companies like United generate $300 billion per year, so they have money to fight the average citizen who's trying to get reimbursed in the courts for what they rightfully deserve. But these companies have gotten so big and have so much resources and money and political power that they're able to get away with it. The third thing this book emphasizes that insurance companies purposely have manipulative fine print. Policies are often filled with complex language that are designed to confuse and mislead customers so they don't know their rights. The last point is that the book calls for reform because these high premiums and denial rates have put nearly 30% of Americans into medical debt. Like, really, that's crazy. They have insurance and they're in medical debt. What's the point of insurance? So the good that's come out of this tragedy is that we're talking about this important book. Luigi pointed us to the book through the bullets, which is crazy. This man is like an evil genius. But it's showing us what's really happening in the world, and I didn't even know this. So it makes sense why millions of Americans are excited that Luigi did this, because, they're like, hey, the government isn't protecting us, so we're going to go for street justice. It's even crazy to know that our politicians, our senators, our governors, all of them are being funded by Big Pharma. They're paying for them to get reelected. And our lawmakers have investments into these companies. They buy stocks into these health companies. That should be illegal. Like, what? How are you going to defend and protect us and advocate for the rights of the people if you're invested in the healthcare industry companies that are affecting the health of the people? Make it make sense. One thing I'm excited about with this upcoming Trump presidency is that Trump appointed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the head of the Department of Health and Human Services. And Robert Kennedy don't play about health. And it's a reason I wanted to possibly vote for Robert Kennedy for president, because he's fighting against Big Pharma, the food industry, and the health insurance industry. And that is huge. No politicians are doing this because they're scared and because they want their money. Kennedy has criticized the industry's profit-driven model, particularly them denying coverage of treatment. He believes that these reforms are necessary to protect us consumers from exploitative practices and improve access to affordable healthcare, which is great. Thank you, RFK. So the last lesson we can learn from this is that evil always gets exposed, which is happening now. Hope is not lost. God and good energy will always win. And thankfully, we have politicians now who are going to fight against this evil practices that are poisoning America. And it's sad that it took an act of evil for millions of Americans to finally start talking about the biggest issue that's affecting us all. This resonates with all of us because the truth has been revealed. And it's time that we demand transparency and fairness in our healthcare system. And it's time we fire all the politicians who are being paid by Big Pharma. That is not okay. Watch my latest video about a man exposing his dark secrets that happen in prison. He describes prison as Disneyland. Watch the video to see why he believes that's so by clicking here. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.